Today I'm going to do something that's never been done before. I'm going to review Batman and Robin. No, not that Batman and Robin. This Batman and Robin. You see, you may not know this, but back in the 1940s, Columbia made two 15-part serials starring the dynamic duo, 1943's Batman and 1949's Batman and Robin. Well, I guess this requires a slight change in scenery. That's better. Now, when I was a kid, I loved the 1943 Batman. But the problem was, I only had the first tape when I was little. So I spent many hours trying to figure out how Batman survived the perilous elevator shaft at the end of Chapter 7. And when I finally got the second tape, I was delighted to find out that the second half was even better than the first. Now, Batman, if nothing else, serves as a wonderfully insensitive World War II propaganda film. The main villain is Dr. Daka, an evil Japanese mastermind, played by an Irish actor, fighting against the evil Allied powers with electronically controlled zombies and a destructive radium-powered gun. Even Batman and Robin themselves had their origins changed. Instead of vengeful orphans, Batman and Robin are secret government agents and often receive special assignments from Washington. Boy, what I would have given to have been a fly on the wall at that war meeting. You know, we need to win this war! A man dressed up as a bat. And the best part is, I eventually found out that the version I grew up with was actually a censored version from the 1960s. See, the original version contained all kinds of neat racial slurs that just don't fly in today's politically correct climate. So that's why they put it on DVD. That's right, when I found out that the original uncensored version was on DVD, I immediately ran to the store and got it. If you ever get the chance, you should check it out. And for the record, I don't condone racial slurs against the Japanese or any other race of people, for that matter. Now, I also had the first tape of Batman and Robin growing up, and I wanted to find the second one for it. But I couldn't. But I honestly didn't spend a lot of nights lying awake wondering how Batman survived the exploding house at the end of Chapter 7 in this movie. For some reason, Batman and Robin just never did it for me. And considering that as a child I thought that the 1943 Batman was one of the pinnacles of classic cinema, and Batman and Robin didn't do it for me, that probably says quite a lot about it. So when I found out that it had been released on DVD, I immediately rushed to the video store to get it. 4 years later. Oh, and just notice how the box art on the DVDs looks absolutely nothing like the content in the actual movies themselves. So let's get to it. Right off the bat, no pun intended, we come to the first problem with this serial. Look at this! Batman and Robin look as confused as hell. Why are we here, Batman? Gee, I don't know, Robin. It's like we landed in a poorly made, cheaply produced movie. Holy poor use of licensing, Batman! After I got the DVD, I watched the whole thing, hoping that this was actually a scene from the movie and that when I saw it in context it would make sense. But no, nothing like this ever happens. My only theory is that this was actually the casting session for the movie. The producers put a whole bunch of random guys in Batman and Robin costumes and dumped them into a pitch-black room. First two guys to find the camera get the roles! And oh look, we have a winner. And now it just crossfades into Batman driving Robin home from school or something. How was your day, Robin? Well, Susie asked me to go to the malt shop, but for some reason I felt more like dressing up in tights and hanging out with you instead. Yeah, real exciting stuff. The original Batman didn't do anything fancy, just used the Batman logo for its titles, but at least it made more sense than this. So anyway, the first chapter begins, and we get a brief montage of Batman and Robin's exploits using nothing but stock footage and clips from the previous movie, even though both Batman and Robin are portrayed by different actors.
Where do they go? What strange place can conceal their identities?
Probably any number of comic book conventions. After we have this establishing shot of an ordinary suburban house filling in for Wayne Manor, we're introduced to our cast of characters. We have Alfred, who doesn't do anything in this movie besides answer the door, usually for Vicky Vale. Bruce is oblivious squeeze in this movie, and the most annoying character in it. She's a photographer. Therefore, by nature, she always has to stick her nose where it doesn't belong every time something bad happens, and she invariably has to be rescued every time she does this. Oh, women in the 40s, and with jobs! When will they learn to stay in that kitchen and pop out babies like they're supposed to? Again, I use the previous movie. Linda Page, Bruce's girl in that movie, did get kidnapped a lot, but at least she had a connection to the plot. Her uncle was turned into a zombie by Daka in the first chapter, and she spends the entire film trying to find him. She also works with radium, which is what the bad guys need to power their weapons. Vicky just gets in the way because she's an annoying bitch. They try to tack on some motivation by saying that her brother Jimmy's working in the villain's gang, but I have a feeling she'd just jump in there and try to take pictures and get on everybody's nerves even if she didn't have that going for her. Honestly, I think even Batman secretly wants her dead.
How do you expect to stop me?
By keeping your key.
You mean you're going to keep me stranded out here in this wilderness?
And then there are Batman and Robin who just hang out in the Batcave all day thinking of ways to kill Vicky. As far as the plot of this movie goes, a scientist has invented something he refers to as a remote control device, which remotely operates any vehicle within a such and such radius. Oh, and it can control toy trains too! Yay! But unfortunately the machine is stolen at the very beginning, so Commissioner Gordon immediately calls Batman and Robin to the scene with what else but the Bat Signal! No, you fool! Not inside! You'll blind us all! Oh, wait, it's just a 40-watt bulb? No big deal. But apparently it can light up the day sky? Wow, I need to get me some of this 1940s technology. So Batman and Robin race to the scene, but are too late to save the remote control machine. The inventor of the machine, Professor Hamill, takes it well.
You're a pack of careless idiots.
Well, I'd like to argue, but...
Whoever stole it probably has more brains than all of you.
And who might this criminal mastermind be, you ask? Why, it's none other than the Wizard. The Wizard, a guy in a black cloak who speaks with a low, scary voice, lives in a cave accessible by submarine, and orders around generic-looking guys in suits who know better than to question the motives of the Wizard. But he's really just a softie. In fact, he's like a father figure to his henchmen, always giving them advice.
Being sorry is stupid. When you made a mistake, learn what's right.
Aww. But just who is the Wizard? The film makes a big deal out of trying to figure out just who the Wizard really is. Is it Barry Brown, the radio newscaster who announces the Wizard's sinister plans just moments before they happen? Is it the private detective who's always snooping around at the crime scenes? Geez, I bet he and Vicky would get along just great. Or is it Professor Hamill himself?
But he's confined to a wheelchair.
Or is he? Did you see that? Hamill can walk, and he just went into a secret passageway, and then he crossed us off into the Wizard entering his hideout. I think the movie's trying to tell me something, but I just can't put my finger on what. Anyway, the remote control machine runs on diamonds. Why not? So the Wizard's men obviously need to steal lots of diamonds. Thankfully, however, Batman and Robin happen to be on hand to foil the robbery.
Diamonds?
That proves it's the same bunch who stole the remote control machine.
Yeah, because diamonds aren't considered a valuable commodity to anybody who doesn't have a remote control machine. The dynamic duo seems stumped, but then Barry Brown broadcasts that a plane full of diamonds will be brought down by the remote control machine. So Batman and Robin decide to fly the plane themselves. But, surprise, surprise, their piloting skills do nothing to keep the Wizard from bringing down the plane. The Wizard's men catch them stupidly at gunpoint and force them to throw the diamonds out before shutting them back in the plane. So then the Wizard uses the remote control machine to blow up the plane. And now, of course, the chapter ends, and we're introduced to a staple of the serial, the cliffhanger. Will Batman and Robin escape the plane of doom? Will the Wizard renew his subscription to Maxim? Find out in Chapter 2 at this theater next week!